guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back here at Dimmitt Chevrolet in sunny Clearwater, Florida, and guess what? I have that redesigned mid-size 3-row that a lot of people are still talking about. It's this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 Chevrolet Traverse. Our particular one is the top trim known as the High Country. But before we get into this mid-size SUV that's got a lot of new changes, let's talk about what's going on here. So the Traverse has been in Chevy's lineup for a few years, and to be honest with you, it has class-leading interior cargo volume and passenger volume, but me personally, I always thought the shape was a little too bland. Well, guess what? Chevy decided to listen to me, of course me only, and they redesigned the Traverse to make it look like a baby Tahoe. And I say that with all the good things behind it. Not only are you getting a bolder style, but wait until you see the interior. They're really up the game when it comes to mid-size SUVs. Now there's a lot to choose from. Telluride, Palisade, Pilot, the list goes on and on and on and on. Is this Traverse, especially the High Country trim, is this the best way to go? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, new color. It's not called Purple Grapeosaurus. It's not even called Tootsie Roll Pop Gray. It's called Stardust. And it's a very interesting color because depending on how much light there is, it looks more purple. It can look a little bit more pinkish. Or, depending if you see it at night, it might just be black. Now at the front of the business, you'll notice that new style I was telling you about. LED daytime running lamps with your turn signals. On the High Country trim, you're gonna get this polished chrome style trim. And then working our way down, same story. C-shape with the chrome, LED projector beam headlight. The one zonk I have up here is they could have put some fog lamps. This is just fake vent, but the good news is we do have functional corner air curtains. And this is what I was talking about, how making it look like a baby Tahoe. Higher hood, not rounded like a jelly bean, and really took a lot of those same styling cues, but the Traverse still has its own identity, which I like as well. There is a little bit of gloss black, but mixed in with the Stardust, it does have a nice sparkle to it. Now, as we come across the front grille, when you go High Country, this is the grille that you're getting. It's a hand-polished aluminum style grille with those horizontal bars. Little bit of gloss black. You do have a forward-facing camera. And then working our way down to ground level, you do have full functionality on the gloss black trim on the bottom portion, because remember, gone is the naturally aspirated V6. Now we have a turbocharged power plant. But let me know what you think about the face of this Traverse. As we take the elevator up, that nice high hood, just like the Tahoe, has a peak in the center. Those sort of angular indentations, but it really just kind of shows the nice muscular look of the Traverse without being too over the top. As we come around the bend, I absolutely love these wheels. Machined aluminum, large Y-spoke design, gloss black. This is a 22-inch wheel. Tires are going to be 275 on the width, 45 series sidewall, and you'll notice that when you go High Country, you are getting the gloss black trim around the fender openings. Let me know in the comment section if you're okay with it. I would prefer to have Stardust sprinkled all over the fender openings. That's just me. But let me know what you think about the gloss black. But these wheels, absolutely dig. Now, you could still get your Traverse front-wheel drive like ours is, or all-wheel drive. And like I said, there's an all-new power plant underneath that hood. Coming down the side, you can see the metallic sparkle just like your grandfather's balls, his bowling balls. You do have gloss black on the mirror caps, your LED turn signals, 360-degree cameras, and then you have bright shiny metalwork only along the top of the window frame openings. Door handles is a two-tone, Stardust with the chrome finish, and then you do have the Traverse name nicely placed on the doors. Along the bottom, it's all gloss black. Like I said, let me know how you're feeling about the gloss black in the comment section. Up top, we have raised roof rails with the Chevrolet accessory crossbars. And then as we come towards the rear, I love the way they work the rear quarter glass, made it look very artistic in design, but also functional to let some light in. And there's that trim coming to a knife point. As we spin it around the back, almost perfect, almost perfect. Nice long roof spoiler. You do have one of those digital rear view mirrors. That's what that camera is for right there. This has got to go. Wiper should be tucked underneath. So that is a zonk, but I like the way that they did the taillights. Nice little waterfall design there. You got your black trim with the Chevrolet bow tie, and there is our only high country badge. I'm glad they just stuck it on the back. That's all we need with the Rocky Mountains there. Dropping it down to ground level. Look at our exhaust. Love the quad tip exhaust, stainless steel tips, functional on both sides. And underneath this cover here, you can tow up to 5,000 pounds with the Traverse. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering it. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have hood struts to hold the hood open. Underneath the hood, tasteful engine cover. It's what's underneath that cover that is getting a lot of attention. That is a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline four. So like I've said before you get upset that there's no longer a V6, we do have more horsepower, more torque. 328 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 in about 7.3 seconds. Top speed, 125 miles per hour. MPGs, 19 in the city, 24 on the highway. And like I mentioned earlier, what the heck is that? There's like stuff flying everywhere. Like I mentioned earlier, 5,000 pound towing capacity. But why don't we go ahead? It's got a 4-banger. Let's fire it up and hear what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Chevy Traverse, this being the top high country trim with that sprinkled stardust color. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, lay it on me. I'm looking for a new midsize SUV. I've looked high and low, but I kind of forgot about Chevy. And it's nice to know that the Traverse is all new. How much is it? This particular one, the way that it's optioned, has an MSRP of $57,000. Let's see what you get when you go Traverse to the door panels. I love the upgraded interior. You're gonna get soft touch material. You have this goldish carbon fiber style design with ambient lighting. And you have all soft touch material, no gloss black, nice contrast stitching, a door pocket that's large enough for a supersized Joey's Pizzas calzone, and a bottle of cranberry juice to wash it down. And we have the Bose optional sound system. Now going from the door panel to the dash, nice stitching. I wish they would do something like put Traverse here or High Country instead of just putting this trim that sort of looks like a big long butter knife. Like give me a big piece of bread so I could butter it. That's what that looks like to me. But I do like this gold tinge to this carbon fiber style design. And if Steven could show it off, right on the edge is your ambient lighting. And I'll show you more of that. As you slide on in, you got 17.7 inches of infotainment system screen, ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats, dual climate control. You could obviously use the touchscreen. I like the way you could pull out some of these easy to grasp icons. Like if you need to adjust your adaptive cruise or your lane keep assist, up top, same story. You go to your home, look at all the great options that we have. Full Google Assistance. We got cameras out the wazoo. Nice clear resolution. Looking out the side, there's my 22-inch wheels. Right back to where we started. And like I was telling you about, ambient lighting. Look at this. Look how easy it is to change the colors of the rainbow, baby. Reading Rainbow. I used to love that freaking show. Kids don't read anymore. They don't have an imagination. Obviously, AC controls, you tap to adjust your dual climate, or follow my finger down below. We got toggle switches, knobs for the dual climate. You do have wireless charging, a USB-C, a USB-A, and a 12 volt down in that cave. 2 cup holders. Here's our Chevrolet key fob with the bow tie. You do get remote start. Down below, you got a nice little area for a purse, maybe a bag of onions. Oh, I got it. It dawned on me. A bag of garlic, raw garlic, so you can keep the vampires away from you. Watch out for the vampires. They really do suck. Gloss black, not my favorite, so I am gonna zonk that, but you open it up, you got a nice little, this is where you could keep all your hopesakes. You know, like you collected things over the years, little knickknacks, pins, and all those kinds of things. That's one thing I miss about the 80s. Small pins and buttons used to be a cool thing. Like you'd have your jean jacket, your stonewashed jean jacket, and have like all your buttons from your different bands, Poison, Van Halen, Metallica. I want a Rady's Rides button. That's what I want. Soft touch material with the stitching. Open it up. You got a nice little tray for some egg rolls. Think about that. You go to 7-Eleven, you get those 7-Eleven egg rolls in there, and then you have enough room. Whoa, what was that? Ooh. A little piece of rubber to protect your egg rolls. And then down in there, you could put, I would say, a size 12 of a pair of Air Jordans. So if you're going to play some basketball with your friends and you're the type of person that believes that you actually play better with Jordans on, you could keep your Jordans in there and then have your egg rolls up top with a little bit of duck sauce. And then the seats, the leather, the stitching, the piping, full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver, which is great. We do have our power shade for our panoramic sunroof, and we do have our digital rearview mirror. This guy right here in this Ford pickup truck has been stalking us. I'm trying to shake him, but he's still there. Damn it. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this new Traverse. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings for the driver's seat. Like the way it's got the nice Chevrolet aluminum plate on the sill. Easy to get to controls for your power seats. Very, very supportive, very comfortable. Lots of room. Steering wheel, the leather, the crisscross applesauce Babe Ruth stitching, flat black on the switchgear. You do have a heated steering wheel, and look at what we have, Super Cruise. So you got that autonomous, hands-free driving that you could do with your Traverse. Paddles on the back to go through your 9-speed automatic, 9-speed automatic, 8-speed automatic, and then you do have your mode selector switch, which Steven's gonna show you on the screen how we go through the different modes here. And I love the graphics. This reminds Steven of playing the original Gran Turismo. He always used to love to race the Chevy Traverse against the Lamborghinis and the Supras and stuff. So nice to have the different modes. And then you got that 11-inch digital gauge cluster. Watch this, I could change it. All by the press of a button. Our Google Maps, our adaptive cruise. You could just have a comm screen if too much information is giving you a migraine, or you could bring it right back. Look at that. Real easy to do. The one thing that's missing is a head-up display. Very surprised the High Country does not have a head-up display. But let's get to the mid-row and that third row and see if High Country is the way to go. All right, guys, mid-row time. And what I love about the new Traverse is I love the way they did the great seats, just like up front with the nice stitching and everything. Actually, not too bad. I'm not going to zonk the armrest. It could be a little bit wider, but it's definitely better than the competition. Backs of the seats, the soft material, large pockets. You could put an abacus back here, maybe Simon Says. I used to love Simon Says because what's great about it is that you could play with it all by yourself. And I remember growing up, I'm the oldest of 6 kids. The best 4 years of my life was when I was an only child. Those were the days. Command center, 2 cup holders. You got your temperature gauge for your AC. We do have 3 stages of heated seats, but we should have ventilated seats for $57,000. USB-Cs, 2 of them. You do have a home power source and a backseat Twinkie tray so that the people in the back don't eat your Twinkies. It's like get your hands off my Twinkie. Unless you're trying to make me feel good. But sitting here, lots of room, captain's chair. Aye, matey. And then of course we got to get into the back, right? Real easy to do. We're gonna flip this down, and then I'm gonna give Steven just enough room here to make the magic happen. Actually, let me help you, Steven. Let me do this. There we go. I gotta slide this. Let me do this. I kind of like this. There's electric buttons on the backs of the seats. Look at that. That's really awesome. And the great news is, even though this is a crossover, my knees are actually pretty low. USB-Cs, not close to the headliner, and I got AC vents up top. I feel pretty good back here. The only thing is that I wish they would have gave us the same nice seat material as the other people. Because I'm being nice by sitting in the third row. You should at least give me something. A little better seat material, like everybody else. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the cargo area, because I want to show you how Chevy lays the smackdown on the competition. All right, guys, cargo area time. This is where Chevy does it, and they do it so well. You do have electric assist, obviously, with the rear hatch. You're going to be greeted to a very generous amount of space. How much space are we actually talking? You're looking at 23 cubic feet of space with the third row up. On the passenger side, we have our switch gear. You just tap it, and we're going to put down all the seats. You got your rear seats. We got our mid-row seats. Look at this. 60-40 split. With the third row down, you're looking at 57 cubic feet of space, and you fold down that mid-row, you're looking at 94 cubic feet of space. That's in a mid-size SUV. That's huge. We do have, like I was pointing out, those USB-Cs back for the third row passengers. And another thing that I think is so smart is look at this wonderful storage area. This is perfect for when you go to the beach and the kids have their sandy blankets and buckets and all that. You could put it in here. The one zonk I have, it's not a freaking cooler. Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they put a drain plug in it and make it a freaking cooler? God. You know what? We don't have a cooler. I'm a little thirsty, so why don't we go over to 7-Eleven and pick up a Super Slurpee in this Traverse. All right, guys, we left Dimmitt Chevrolet. We're in this 2025 Chevy Traverse High Country. What I'm going to do right away is hit that mode selector switch. That's going to put us into sport mode. Love those graphics. Information on the steering wheel is so easy to read because of the way that 11-inch screen is shaped. You could see it right through the top portion of the steering wheel with no issue. Visibility out the front windshield is massive. We got that rear digital mirror, a rear view digital mirror set up with a beautiful resolution and clear view. And we're gonna go on throttle here. On throttle, here we go. So even with this not being an all-wheel drive example, it really does well with how the traction control system works and everything. We're getting power to the ground. Getting out onto the highway, those 22-inch wheels are actually not bad when it comes to a harsh ride whatsoever. You got that 17.7-inch infotainment system, easy to reach, nicely angled towards the driver. And then we're gonna slow down a little bit here. All right, we're gonna go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. 8-speed drops down and we're off. Smooth shifts from that 8-speed automatic. Like I said, more power, more torque than previously available. I love the fact that I could actually bring up different screens, have the map in front of me, and bring up those different screens very easily. Go through the swipes. You can even pull up your cameras. That's what's cool about the Chevy products, is how you can pick up and use your cameras while the car is in motion. But just cool to have that new technology. Seats are so supportive and comfortable. And then of course, windshield wipers, real easy to access. I think what you're gonna like is when it comes to overall driving of this vehicle, you're gonna find that in the handling department, it's actually not too shabby because you have less weight over the front of the car. But the turbocharged engine does a good job building boost. You're not really waiting for too much boost to build up, so there's not a ton of lag. And of course, the suspension, going over things like speed bumps, Very, very comfortable, very balanced. And then you also have, like I said, the ability to tow up to 5,000 pounds. I mean, that's a nice amount of weight for towing capability wise. But going down the road is just a real pleasure to be behind the wheel of this new Traverse. Watch how easy it is to make a U-turn. Piece of cake. On throttle, here we go. And then of course you have, if you want to do autonomous driving, you have that ability with the Super Cruise. And Super Cruise is probably one of the best autonomous driving features of any brand. I love the new bridge style to the center console, getting things down below, up top, lots of storage areas. Just very smartly thought out. And that's important because at the end of the day, the competition in the midsize segment is really, really fierce. Love the way that we have ventilated seats, heated seats, and the fact that you have physical knobs and switchgear for the AC controls is a very smart move by Chevrolet. But it's very interesting how they really brought this midsize more up scale when it comes to the features, the finishes, and just how it drives overall. Pulling away from the light, super smooth with the throttle application. It's not real grabby, nothing herky-jerky in here. And they did a wonderful job as well with the high country with the extra sound deadening material. Gives a nice quiet driving experience, even with those Chevrolet accessory crossbars up on the roof. But we're gonna go ahead and get back to Dimmitt Chevrolet, so hopefully you enjoyed this quick overall review of what the Traverse High Country's bringing for 2025. We're gonna get back there and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, been another great day here at Dimmitt Chevrolet. Definitely got to thank Raheel, the rest of the crew, getting us access to this 2025 Stardust Chevy Traverse High Country trim. Let me know what you think. Is this the best out of the bunch? Do you have a favorite midsize 3-row crossover SUV? Let me know what it is down in the comment section. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. Gotta get up to Stephen Flood. He's here. He's strong, and he's got a heart of gold. So thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.